Hello, here I am catching up on request videos. So let's see here. This one's from Mark Del Rio. He says, "Hello there, how are you? Next video request, can you please talk about your thoughts on the state of Utah in general and also any other cities you've been to besides Moab? Thanks and have a nice day." All right. Hey, Mark Del Rio. I'm good, thank you. Hope you're well. State of Utah is probably the second most beautiful state in America after Colorado. Oh, it's right next to Colorado, too. Colorado has some qualities of Utah over there, and what's it called? Over there in Grand Junction, they have some national monument with the big sandstone, and they've got that all over western Colorado, and then into Utah. Just big sandstone deserts. Outside of Moab, they have Slick Rock, which is like big sand dunes that are petrified that you could mountain bike over. It's pretty cool. And canyons all over the place, and spires, and then they have the Colorado River that goes right through Moab, which is a really big river, and you can go over the big rapids. I was a river guide there actually in '93, and went through the canyons, Westwater, from the Colorado side down into Moab, and it went through like the oldest rocks in America, like 4 billion year old like black rock, and yeah, it's beautiful. And we did freshman year of college, did spring break over in Canyonlands, and that's really pretty too, because it's the sandstone, petrified sand dunes, and then the trails through the canyons, sandstone canyons, and real of all shapes and sizes. There's really like narrow ones that you can go through. It's really cool. Hike down to the Colorado River. And there's lots of places like that. I mean, there's a lot of Utah that I haven't explored that somebody could live there and explore all the time and still go to cool new places. Yeah. Now, I haven't really been through there a lot. Checking out other places in Utah. Last time I drove through Utah was after I got my car fixed, back in like January of 2012, last year, and I just drove through some area I haven't been to, bypassed Salt Lake City with some big highway, and but I remember we went to Salt Lake City back in '87. We just drove through it and checked out the big Mormon church there, and it looked like a big city. I think that's a cool place to live, Salt Lake City, as far as the nature goes, because you have Park City, which is a really good ski area. That's like 45 minutes outside of that. And I heard the snow is better in Utah than Colorado because it's drier there. And so the snow is fluffier. And there are a few ski resorts there in Utah, that are good. I think, the Winter Olympics were there in Salt Lake City back in '96 or something like that, '98. Or no, that was Nagano, Japan. I think it was like 2004 or something like that. Or 2002. But, and then on the other side of Salt Lake City is the Great Salt Lake, which is this giant, super salty lake, which is next to giant salt flats that they do all those land speed records with. Just a lot of cool stuff in Utah. And then there are other places in Utah too, like Bryce Canyon, just trippy places you would love to. It'd be good to be on acid, to just trip through, an adventure, like up. I mean, there's this one canyon, I think it was Bryce Canyon, or Zion National Park. I think that was Utah, could have been Arizona, but Yeah, hiking up some really like narrow canyon, and it was all water, and you have to swim through parts of it. And yeah, I was on like 3 hits of acid or something, so I don't remember. I should have gone up all the way, and made a whole day trip out of it, but I turned around. That'd be cool to go back there. It's where all the Mormons went to, though. Joseph Smith, which is a weird religion. He got his start in I think Pennsylvania back in 1860, and then he moved out to Utah with his followers back in the 1860s, and they founded Salt Lake City, and they were the dominating people of Utah for a long time, up until probably recently, or maybe still. It was the eighth most populous religion in America. Now, I don't know if that includes Mormons in other countries, though, because they're really evangelical. I saw evangelical Mormons in Brazil, and these are American Mormons from Utah and this kind of stuff. And I don't know if anywhere else, but yeah, they go on their mission. If you become a Mormon, you have to travel around the world for a year trying to convert people to Mormonism. So I heard like in the 90s, you couldn't even buy like the highest alcohol content of beer you could get there was like 3.2 or something. So people would have to drive out of the state in order to get alcohol. Yeah, weird situation. They used to have polygamy there, so they'd build houses. There are probably still tourist attractions in Salt Lake City where they build houses where they're like duplexes, because the guy would have his wife and family in one house and then another wife and family in the other part of the house. Like that TV show Big Love with Bill Paxton. He has like 6 wives. Yeah, bizarre. And but I think people are starting to rebel against Mormonism, and it's getting smaller in that place. Yeah, nature-wise, it's really beautiful. I've done the river trip down the Green River too. You go north of I-70, and it was like 6 days, and you can see the sandstone layers with the trees growing on each layer. It's beautiful. Sandstone of all different colors too. It's really beautiful. I was last time out in Utah was in 2010. I was there from like October to like November or something, September to November. Living in my van out there outside of Utah, Moab, just kicking it, doing mountain biking. I did a mountain bike race out there and did a big trail. But there's lots of other trails around Moab that I haven't done that I'd like to one day. And and then they have Lake Powell. The Colorado River after Moab goes down, and then there's a dam. I think the Hoover Dam, and or the Powell Dam. There's 2 big ones. There's the one outside of Las Vegas, Nevada, which I think is the Hoover Dam, which is a really big dam. And then the other big dam of America is the one from the dams up Lake Powell right before Grand Canyon, and that's all in Utah. And that's just this giant Lake Powell, that goes up into all these different like arms, sandstone arms, and oh man, that'd be a cool place to like boat through, or swim through and stuff. Explore. And then right there at the dam is Page. Oh, but that's in Arizona. So the dam is actually in Arizona, but most of the lake is in Utah, I think. Page is where you see all these aliens. But there's mountains outside of Moab too, big like Colorado-sized mountains, 13,000 footers. So they have the mountains too, but not that many. It was only on the far east, and then the rest of Utah is just flat. But yeah, Utah's an amazing place. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. When you have like those Western movies, like The Lone Ranger we just saw, there's 2 places where they film all that stuff. One of them is Utah. With the canyons and everything, like Thelma and Louise outside of Moab, the scene at the end where they drove the car off the cliff, that was like right outside of Utah, and other scenes and stuff are out there. And then the other place for the Westerns is Monument Valley with all the big spires, and that's in Arizona. But Utah's beautiful. I'd say 2nd most beautiful state in America after Colorado, and it's right next to Colorado. Okay, peace out.